All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. My name is Ariv. Wanted to talk to you guys about my plan for Faction Wars today. If you watched my last video, you'd know that Faction Wars is a big goal of mine this year. I can say it's a goal all I want, but if I don't have a plan going into it, then I'm probably going to be scattered. I'm probably going to waste a lot of resources and maybe even not achieve my goal. So let's talk about reaching that goal. So I've got all the factions up here. You can see the ones I've still yet to go. As far as my completed factions go, Skinwalkers, just finished them last night, actually. And actually it was pretty fun. I think I put together a pretty solid team. And here's the screenshot from the final sort of first clear. Mezzo's obviously a huge carry, but Ragash was really good. Hofaris came in really, really clutch with some revives. Cleoptrix is an absolute nuker if you build her right. So just had a really good time. Was really actually kind of stress-free. I thought I would have to be at it for a while, and I think it took me 2 tries. I'll show you a video of that at the end. We can break it down, but yeah, and just fair warning, the worst. Watching myself play, just awful. Just awful. I made so many mistakes. Actually, funny enough, I went back and did my second run with the rest of my keys, and it was a minute faster than me manualing it. So I should have just left it alone. I should have just left it and let it go. I wanted to guarantee the 3-star to finish the crypto, so it is what it is. So Skinwalker done, Knights Revenant done. My team I don't love. At first I liked it a lot, but it's a little slow. It's a little inconsistent. There's not like a lot of upfront damage, and it lacks a heal reduction for the bosses. Heal that it does. So sometimes those runs take like 4 minutes, and I can't be bothered sitting here for that long. So I'm gonna have to probably build like another nuker for that, just to switch it out and find a heal reduction somewhere. I haven't really done the research on that yet, but yeah, it is what it is. Sacred Order, my team's fine. Nothing to write home about. Barbarian also fine. Thor pretty much carries. And my dwarf team, for the longest time, I only had 2 epic dwarves, and the last couple events, I managed to pull a couple and build them up. So that team has a lot of improvement. It's solid. It's never failed. It's just slow. So that would leave us with our remaining factions. So Lizardmen, Sylvan Watchers, High Elves, Undead Horde, Demon Spawn, Ogre Tribe, Orcs, Dark Elves, Bannerlords, and Shadowkin. So you might be sitting here thinking like, oh, that's so many. I'm really only like 1 or 2 champions off on each one. And really books are the biggest thing that sort of that's this thing that's slowing me down the most. So, but I put little asterisk near Lizardmen, Sylvan Watchers, and High Elves because that's what I want to talk about today. I want to go over my plan for my Lizardmen faction, Sylvan Watcher faction, and High Elf faction. I'm really excited about these 3. I think I have some really good plans and really good champions put in place, and we just need to level them up. We just need to get going. So without further ado, let's talk about the Lizardmen. So Razin is a permanent fusion in the game. Everyone can get him. He was one of the first fusions I did, and just was a really consistent performer in Clan Boss for me for a long time. My Clan Boss team has kind of passed him by at this point. And with any sort of good Lizardman nukers like a Teox or a, literally anything, he will most likely be replaced. But this is what I've got to work with for now, so that's what we're going to go with. He does have a single target strip. He's got a single target decreased defense and weaken. So there is value there. It's not just like some champion that's bad that I'm just throwing in there because I have him. And an AoE decreased turn meter, 100% decrease. So timing that well will make it a lot smoother than, say, just letting it kind of auto. So we'll probably set up a little team setup for that sort of thing. Fushan is my next, just pure nuker role. I'm just going to have him totally decked out, best gear, just nuking as much as he possibly can. He does have a decreased defense and a stun. It's just a little inconsistent. So I'm not going to rely on that with him. It's going to be more or less just do damage. Next in the team is going to be Venomage. The real big thing with Venomage here is having his passive makes the team take 15% less damage if the attacker has a heal reduction on, and he has an AoE heal reduction on a short cooldown. So that's really more of a support, not really there for damage, although He will have poisons, and then he also has a single target, decrease attack, decrease defense. Not really. That's not really why he's there. He's there for that passive. Aox the Rememberer. This is literally the best Lizardman healer that I have. He does have some control with an AoE turn meter decrease and a decrease attack for the whole team or for the whole enemy team. And then his heals are based on basically how many debuffs each enemy has, the enemy that he attacks, and it's like 2.5% for each additional debuff. So with Razen's debuffs, with Fushan's debuffs, specifically with Venomage's debuffs, that's a pretty decent heal he's going to be hitting every time it comes around, and it's on a 3-turn cooldown. So if I had like a Pythion or someone like that, I would obviously be using them instead, but kind of don't. And then lastly, I'm going to use a Basilisk. This is by far the weakest champion that I'm going to be using for this, but as it turned out, was most likely the best, simply for his A1 is AoE. He does have a self-revive, he does have a single target stun, but really my plan is to deck him out in a stun set, have him just A1, 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 and just try and lock down as many of the enemy champs as we can. So as for potential backups, so there is always Broadmaw, who is actually pretty good support champion, has a pretty good res, pretty good heal, and I think a cleanse. I'd have to check on that. And then Jerrig. Jerrig's a single target decreased defense, but more importantly, team protection. He puts up ally protect. He has got a big HP pool, so that could be an option if we're running into scenarios where we're dying a lot and just can't manage to live. He's already built, so that might be something we might look into. Okay, Sylvan Watchers. I'm actually really excited about this team. This team feels like it's going to be really good. Elva, you know, what can I say about Elva that hasn't already been beat to death? Single target res, full team increased speed, block debuffs, and a cleanse. Just fantastic. Glaciad, I really like Glaciad a lot. Increased attack for the whole team, perfect veil for the whole team, plus a turn meter, and fell 15%, and that is on one move. Not to mention a team revive that also gives increased accuracy and increased defense. And then his passive is like the cherry on top. 10% increased damage to all champions under Perfect Veil. Just fantastic. With my nukers on this team, they're going to absolutely slam. With the combination of these two, I'm very excited. Mr. Rider Dythe, just absolute nuker. AoE decreased defense, takes an extra turn, self buffs, just really, really good. He's going to be in some good gear. And I fully expect him and Kellen the Shrike to absolutely nuke waves down. Kellen the Shrike, not much to be said about debuffs. Has a single target weaken, has an AoE decreased speed, but really just there for damage. I don't know if I'm going to put a lot of accuracy on him. It's just going to be more of like a, hey, let's just hammer these waves, go fast and take a lot of turns. And then lastly, White Dryad Nia. Really, really cool. AoE decreased speed, a cooldown reset that you can control, or if you put it on auto, it just puts it on the leader of the team. The small strengthen buff and passive healing buffs, just tons of buffs, tons of protection. Just a really good champion that is going to be directly healing up any damage that comes out when Elva and Glaciad are kind of more buffing and not necessarily directly healing, although Elva does heal a little bit. Some possible backups I've got in my roster. So End of Moonbeam was interesting to me. Just the debuffs that they can put out. Duodan the Runic. I was told by some clanmates that Duodan's kind of required for the final boss stage because of the taunt mechanic. We'll see when we get there. I do have him at 50 right now, so if I need to rank up another champion, so be it. This last champion, I looked it up. I think it's Quelche, the Ash Arrow. I think it's an Irish name. I'm a big dumb American, so I was like, Cowlty? Like, no, that's not it. Anyways, just that's more of like a nuker. Like, if we need more damage, if for some reason Kellen's not doing the trick, we might switch out Kellen for Quelche and just absolutely have to nuke more. He's a really interesting champion, kind of a counter to Arman's in Arena. Haven't really needed him in Arena, so haven't really thought to even build him. But this might be an opportunity too. So who knows? Lot of book investment in this team. Elva's already fully booked. Lakehead's, I think I need like 10 more books for him, and then these 3 are already booked. So really, just ranking up these champions, and this faction is almost done, if not already done. So moving on to High Elf. So of course we've got Arbiter here, our girl, full a full team turn meter fill, a heal, increased attack, a buff strip. Just what more could you ask for? A full team revive, and then a single target weekend, weekend. So I'm trying to go way too fast here. Just what more could you ask for? Just an absolutely amazing champion. I put Lonathrall in here because I like the additional protection that they provide, along with the full team ally attack with the increased crit damage buff. When we're team attacking with a Neldor and a Royal Guard, whatever champion is there is just not going to live. It's just not. There's no way. So I really like that, and I like the additional protection with the team shields. So Neldor is next. Just a good champion that's also going to be used in Fire Knight. So a lot of, and I think also in Curse City, if I'm not mistaken. So just a high value champion to rank up and get into like a high ascension, not ascension, a high blessing, and then empower if you can. Royal Guard, just fantastic. I mean, single target, decreased defense will be great on the boss. Decreased speed, it's like random 4 hits, so it could hit many targets, it could just hit one. But that AoE HP, max HP nuke, just fantastic, is going to be really good. And then I put Tyrell in here because I wanted to have someone who's a little bit tanky, and who has a decreased attack on their A1. So, because I'm thinking about the boss stage of this level, stage 21, with Lonathrall's full team ally attack. You'll have Neldor coming in, possibly freezing. You'll have Arbiter coming in, putting on a weaken. You'll have Royal Guard coming in, putting in decreased defense, and then Tyrell coming in, putting in decreased attack. So you're potentially getting 4 debuffs, most likely 3. Probably the freeze won't hit on the boss, but excuse me, potentially 3 huge debuffs with just that one ally attack, and then being able to maintain that. So and then of course the AoE decreased defense is really good with Tyrell, and then the single target turn meter decrease that he has on his A3. Just a lot of utility. I know Tyrell is kind of an older champion. He was one of the first epics I ever pulled. I used him for a really long time. And looking at my possible backups, I thought, well, Tyrell is probably the best bet, considering I'm sort of building around this full team attack strategy. Will it work? I don't know. I haven't been there. It might not work. It might suck. So we'll just have to see. So some possible backups. So Ethelyn the Golden was really interesting to me with his AoE lockout. He also self-buffs and then gets an extra turn and goes right into his A2, which is the AoE lockout. So that was pretty fascinating to me. I was thinking about how that would work. Skaramis with his AoE provoke and decreased attack, sort of taking the place of the decreased attack on Tyrell. It wouldn't be on an A1, but that provoke was interesting to me because there are waves that have 3 Valkyrie, and if you can provoke them and prevent them from putting up their counterattacks, there's some value there. The ways of dealing with that are provoking them, stunning them, draining their turn meter, or just absolutely nuking them before they get a turn. And without top tier gear, you might not have the champions to do that. So I don't know. I was thinking about that. We may build Skaramis anyway just for that one stage. So I'm not quite sure yet. So that's sort of my plan with those 3 factions. But I wanted to just finish up and give some general tips for faction wars. Revivers, healers, and support are must-haves. So on this point, it's so important to be able to support your nukers. A lot of times your nukers are going to be kind of squishy. They are going to need help. And a reviver can really save a run that maybe is going to fail, or maybe you only get one or two stars on, but a healer comes in, reses them, buffs them, and you're rolling again, and it's like nothing ever happened. So if you're trying to do this without revivers or some sort of healer slash support, you're really making it a lot harder on yourself. The second point I wanted to make was that control here is king. So what does that mean? Turn meter decrease, stuns, freezes, petrification. That's sort of a Mithrala thing. All those things are something you want to look for when choosing your champions. Sometimes you're limited by your roster. Like I felt pretty limited by this, but I also feel like I have what I need in order to accomplish what I want to do. Is it, and then this sort of brings me to point 4 actually, is that a lot of the champions I was using, some of them are meta, not all of them though. A few of them are far outside of the metas, like Tyrell. So you just want, like, don't be constrained by what people say is the meta. Like, if this is your first time through and you're clearing faction wars, you're going to do it with whatever you can. That means rares too. I didn't even look at rares because I have champions that will do what I need it to do, but that doesn't mean that they're not viable. You should absolutely look at rares if you don't have any other epics that will fill a role for you. And so that's kind of point 3, is being creative with solutions. Stun sets on champions that have 2 AoEs or an A1 that's an AoE. That's a really good way to make things a lot easier. Will you have to restart sometimes because it doesn't always hit? Yeah, sure. But it's better than not being able to do it. And this is the other thing I wanted to say is, given all that information, is that don't build champions that are not going to actually help you. There's a lot of really shit champions in these factions, mostly in rares, but there are some epics and even some legendaries that's like, why bother? Don't even bother building that. It's not going to help you in this scenario. Now, if you do want to build that champion for something else that's more specific, fine, do what you want to do. But it just doesn't make sense to build champions that are like not going to help you accomplish those goals in faction wars, or be bad, or just constantly be dying, or whatever the case is. And then I wanted to finish off with this, and this is kind of the point where I got to. Game plan for what you have, and be patient if you don't have the champions. Don't try and force things in. Absolutely make sure that you're game planning and you're building up champions that are going to help you, that you're reviewing their kits, doing all that stuff. But if you just simply are looking at this and you're like, all these champions suck, I don't want to build any of these, but I want to do this, take a breath, just be patient. There will always be summoning events. You'll get more sacreds, you'll get more shards, and eventually you will pull champions that can help you. Some people get ultra lucky and they just get them right away, and other people have to wait a while, and it is what it is. If you think about it, there's 12 factions and you need a minimum of 5 champions for each faction in order to 3-star every stage, and most likely they're all going to have to be 60, and most likely they have to fit specific roles. So it's not like you're just going to get all these right away and just be ready to go. I think that's 60 champions that you're going to have at least in order to complete Faction Wars. So this is a long-term goal. This is something that it doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen with with teams that don't work. So just be patient. If you don't have the champions, it's okay. Work on the factions that you do have champions for, and then dive in once you get them leveled. You can even start clearing up to some of the mid levels with level 50s. I've seen some people clear stage 21 with some 50s based on just they're only filling one role, and they build that champion to accomplish that role, and then everyone else does all the other work. So like, you have flexibility here. You can do all those things. Okay, so time for my public humiliation. I'm gonna pull up this stage of this is stage 21 of Faction Wars last night. I am horrific at this, so you're gonna watch me manually click around. It's embarrassing and I hate it. So Mezimel is just an absolute king here. He's doing so much damage. I went into his alternate form there to try and clear the wave. Didn't quite get it done. So just I'm having the rest of the champions sort of clean up the rest of this wave. I'm noticing some of the choices I made with Cleoptrix were not great. Just sort of forgetting how her kit works and then doing stuff that just didn't make sense. So there's the min-maxers are going to be furious right now, but I mean, I'm a dumbass. I don't know what what else you want from me. I'm really just waiting to get around to Ragesh. Yeah, this move, this AoE plus decreased defense. Usually we'll just wipe out the wave. Perfect. So my huge mistake here that I made was instead of attacking the ad on the left over here, I started attacking the ad on the right. This is an AoE provoke, and he absolutely provokes me and sort of extends the run by like an additional minute. I also do this a bunch where I put up a bunch of buffs on my team, and then the boss just steals them. So I clearly wasn't watching the ability counter. So, you know, if you can, this is just a testament to faction war teams. If you build your teams right, they, you know, are dumbass proof, because I'm a dumbass and I played this completely wrong and we still did it. We still 3-starred. So everyone gets feared. We're getting provoked. That mob is almost dead though. Cleoptrix goes down here. Cleoptrix is pretty squishy. And I played this pretty wrong, so it's no surprise to me that she died. I think we also lose Steel Skull here. But I'm saving my res on Hofrees specifically for after Steel Skull dies. So, yeah, this is Mezzo just nuking. The boss has increased defense, so he's just not taking any damage. Yep, just A1ing. A1, probably. Oh, I'm thinking about it. Nope. Checking HPs. Nope. A1. This is A1 again. Yeah, I'm just basically waiting for Steel Skull to die, because I know he's going to die to the next big alligator chomp. Oh, he lived one. I thought he died on that one. He certainly dies on the next, whatever the next boss ability is. A1, we're gonna, I think we just A2 here on Mezzo. Yeah. Nope, we A1. Okay, that was smart. Here it comes. Bang. Steel Skull dead, so now it's like, okay, it's go time. Buffs. A2, big nuke. Res. Strengthen. Speed. And then we A1. Can't remember what I do here. If I A2, yeah, that's pretty stupid. I should have just A1'd. A1 and then A1 to finish. I thought about buffing, but then I saw the boss's health and thought, what am I doing? So, you know, Mezimel MVP here, I mean, just does an absolute insane amount of damage. I really misplayed Cleoptrix's moves, so they should be doing more damage. And then Ragesh, just a great champ. I pulled him, I want to say 6 months ago, and has just been so good. Really underrated. His kit does have issues, like getting the increased defense on his after using his A1, which really would help with his A3, which is the big nuke, but the AoE nuke. But I mean, it is what it is, I guess. His AI is a little bit weird too. He likes to use his A2 first, the increased speed and strengthen, and then his A2, then his A1. It's kind of weird. Anyways, that's it for today, guys. Hopefully you guys are making some good progress. Hopefully you find this interesting or helpful in any way. If you do, you know, drop me a comment, drop me a like, you know, subscribe to the channel if you want to see some more. Hopefully I'll see you guys soon. All right, take care.